Hey guys, Liquid here, and welcome back to Let's Answer Some Questions. Post questions below, and I will answer them next week. Let us get started. Bob asks, do you have a current gen console, like an Xbox One or PS4? Yes, I do have, handheld-wise, I have a Nintendo 3DS, 3DS, which I used a lot. I didn't really ever use it a lot. I played a couple games with it, but honestly, it's been gathering dust for some time. But at some point, I might get more games for it or something. But I've had it for like a couple years, honestly, and I'm not sure if I've really played it at all in like the past 2 years or so. Uh, and I do actually have a. I believe I answered this in a previous video. I do have a PS4. But I actually, to tell you the truth, I have not used it at all. I just have it, but I do plan to use it, for Let's Plays and whatnot at some point. But I've just never gotten around to it because honestly, I just don't really play that many video games that aren't part of a Let's Play or something. Do I post my videos right after I record them or after a while? I definitely do not post videos like right after I record them. Like it depends on the video. Like these question and answer videos. Um, I record and then I'm recording this on Saturday night, and then I uploaded it. I upload it and set it to schedule a few hours later. But on actual Let's Play videos, um, I have because I'm doing one video a day. Where I'm uploading one video a day, but I'm not recording one video a day. Like I've recorded, I'll usually record a lot in like a good, like in bulk, in a short period of time, and then upload them over the course of a while. Like at the moment, I'm pretty sure like my videos are scheduled to basically last until like October, but I have a lot that I still haven't even scheduled. That like I could stop recording basically and have a lot go up for the next probably until the new year, honestly. Do I plan on learning any other languages? I'm assuming that you mean other than Japanese, which, in case you don't, I am learning Japanese and whatnot. But other than Japanese, um, I did before I got into Japanese and whatnot. I would say back in 2012, 2013, I got into studying. I was studying Dutch, and I actually have a video about it if you look up Dutch on my channel or something. Um, which I do sometimes want to go back to because I feel, you know, knowing, like, I guess getting as far as I have in Japanese, it does. I realize that it is possible and whatnot to get to a level where you can understand a lot of stuff. But the thing with Dutch was I kind of chose it almost because I knew that it was very similar to English and just wanted kind of like a simple language to do. But the thing is, unlike Japanese, like I was never really engaging with Dutch media or anything, and so I didn't really have as much motivation to keep with it for long periods of time. And so while I did like learn a little bit, like base like I have like a decent, I say, foundation of grammar and whatnot, I never really had the, I guess, like I said, motivation to keep with it. And so even though, like, compared to Japanese, like Dutch and English are like very very similar, both in just grammatically and vocabulary wise. Like my Japanese is far better than my Dutch, just because I had the motivation to stick with it and spend a lot of time with it. Other than that, I'd say maybe Spanish because I guess your typical language for an American person to learn, and also possibly French, just because I think there's a lot of like literature and whatnot that I might want to check out. But if I were to get to like one of those languages, probably would not be anytime soon. Like, probably gonna stick with Japanese for quite a while. Way to Dawn asks, "What are my favorite horror games, and have I ever played Fear and the Evil with? Have I ever played Fear and the Evil Within, or will I in the future?" My favorite horror games, honestly, other than the Resident Evil games, I haven't really played too much. Um, I enjoyed Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which I would like to possibly let's play at some point, as well as I played a little bit of the very first Penumbra game, which I believe is by the same person that made Amnesia. I'd say possibly I would say those are. I'm sure trying to think of like other horror games that I played other than Resident Evil, and I can really only think of those. Which, like I said, Amnesia was really good. I played a little bit of Siren Blood Curse for the PS3, and that was alright. I've never played Fear, and I've never played the Evil Within, but I guess it is possible that I could do so in the future. Am I in college? I am not. Flame Gamers Hotspot 2000 asks, "What is my favorite season?" I really like winter. I like the cold period. I like I like cold weather more than warm weather. Like almost like a frightening to almost a frightening degree. Like I don't know. I just like being out in the cold and having numb fingers and whatnot. Like as well as just the holiday season. I really enjoy Christmas and even Thanksgiving leading up to it and whatnot. Ursula Quinn asks, and one thing I will note to Ursula Quinn, I would recommend that you possibly if you're gonna ask a whole lot of questions, possibly just keep it like in one, like instead of just making a bunch of different comments, just keep all the questions in one comment because it does clog up the place. Okay, this is in response to, I guess he wanted to send me his Xbox One S, I guess in return for the joy that I brought into his life. Um, like it's a nice uh gesture or whatever, but honestly, I have no real interest in it, and I don't really want to take anything off of you. So thanks, but no thanks. What streaming service do I watch? I don't really like. I watch YouTube, but other than that, I don't watch Netflix or anything like that. What are my biggest fears? I've never really enjoyed bugs. Like I know a lot of people have very specifically have arachnophobia, and for me, like spiders, I really don't care about spiders too much. Like but just things like crickets and uh beetles and whatnot. Like I don't know, like anything that's like creepy crawly. I just always wears me out. I wouldn't really call it a fear. Like it will make me like if a bug just like flies in my face or something, I will jump or whatever. But like I'm not like the people you see that they have to get up on their chair or something and have to avoid it. Like I can take action and dispose of an insect if it comes at me or something. Junk Food Master Gaming asks, "Could I let's play Hulk 2003, the movie game? It's for PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Mac, and PC or Windows." Yes, I can, and I'll just leave it at that. But that is a possible let's play. Where do I live? I say this because I don't want Hurricane Irma to kill you. Uh, I would say that this question probably could have been asked with a little bit more tact, but I do live on the American East Coast, and I am sometimes hit by hurricanes, but I was nowhere in the path for Hurricane Irma. I was affected by Hurricane Irene and Isabel, but those were years gone by. I'll probably actually be moving sometime soon a bit further inland to where hurricanes won't really be an issue anymore. My least favorite childhood memory. Um, I could get into like things that would be a bit personal. Um, I don't really have anything that I would really just be uh, open for, like, willing to just openly talk about. My least favorite type of movie. Um, no, dance movies or something. I don't really. Yeah, I don't know, like dance movies. Am I afraid of North Korea shooting nukes at us? Not really. I would say I think most, like, I do think that something probably will happen with North Korea within the next year or so. But I do not really have any fear of being hurt or affected. Who are my enemies? I don't really have any enemies. And if I did, I probably wouldn't name them on a video or whatever. Like, just call people out. What are my thoughts on the adpocalypse? Which, to what he's referring to here is, there's been a lot of talk on YouTube about how certain content creators are getting their videos oftentimes in bulk. Like, just, they're like oftentimes their entire channels are being flagged as being like not advertiser friendly, and thus they can not make revenue off of their videos. Which I think is unfortunate for the people who have had it happen to them. I have not had it happen to me. Um, but like I said, it is unfortunate. But hopefully something is done about it, and like the algorithm that the text questionable content or whatever gets improved and whatnot. Han Solo or Nathan Drake? I'd probably say Nathan Drake. My favorite holiday, probably Christmas. Animals or am I afraid of? I think this probably goes into a question down here, but probably just like insects, which is I guess kind of a silly thing, like when you compare it to like other animals, but they're the ones that I guess I'm around the most, and so I'll probably say that. So I watched the Muppets. I not regularly. I've seen the Muppet movie that came out in like 2011, and it was alright. Do I eat at McDonald's sometimes? And I enjoy their food. Have I seen Little Shop of Horrors? I've seen the remake. 'Cause I know that there's like the original Little Shop of Horrors came out in like 1950 or something, but I've seen like the 1980s version, and it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I remember we actually watched it in school one time in theater class. Red Robin asks, "Do I know how to fight, and have I ever fought someone and won?" I've never taken any like self-defense classes or anything like that, so I don't really know if you could say I know how to fight. Um, and have I ever? I've never been that type of person to duke it out or get physical with people. So I can't really say I have. I will say I had there was an incident one time when I was in school. It wasn't really like this fellow was hitting me a little bit, and I did put it into it. Like I did, it's not like I was super strong or whatever. But I used a weapon, and was suspended for the rest of the year. but it's not like a I don't really consider that as like giving me cred or whatever you would say like I said I would if the opportunity were to arise in which I could get into a fight, I would probably not take it. Magma Ascending asks, "Do I plan on let's playing any famously bad games? You mostly played very good games, but I think it'd be entertaining experience for all of us viewers." I haven't really thought about it like particularly. Like there are certain games that I do plan to get to at some point, but that might be like not well critically received. But what was I saying? um, like I don't really have any attention to like just let's do some bad games. And I'm trying to think of like what games. All I can really think of right now is Superman 64. Because Mike Matei from Cinemassacre has been like doing like a playthrough of that. But I just to answer the question, like I might do games at some point that could be considered bad games, but not. I'm not really doing them because I wouldn't be doing them because of their reputation. If that makes sense. And honestly, it's the type of thing where very rarely do I, just straight out, play a game and be like, oh man, this is trash. Like, if I don't really enjoy it too much, I'll just leave it at that. Sluis Swaxia asks, "Do you know of the Procrastinators podcast? Because Digibro is in it with a group of other creators similar to him. It's more of a group that makes videos together than a podcast." I am familiar with them. I don't really watch like out of that entire group. Like Digibro was the only person that I've really watched many of their videos. Um, I have watched. I've listened to like an episode or two of the podcast. I remember, or there was like one where they were talking about how what's this fella's name? Endless Jess, I think. Like his camera, like all of his videos have like a yellow light to them, and I remember that video. Like I've seen like a couple of their stuff, but I don't really watch. I don't really follow them or anything. What Dubop asks, "What PC do I use for gaming?" The PC that I use is custom built. Like I got all the parts and assembled them together. I didn't assemble them myself. I took them to like a PC shop. But as for what, like I'm not sure what. I couldn't like name all the parts off the top of my head, but it's got like I think it's got like 120 gigabyte SSD for the main hard drive, and it's got like a terabyte like storage hard drive. And then I've got that's so the operating system is an i7 something. Or not operating. The CPU is an i7. I think maybe 5770 maybe. Um, and the graphics card I want to say is like a GTX 760. And I think I've got 8 gigabytes of RAM. I might actually be 16 to be honest. It's either 8 or 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it's done pretty well. Like I haven't really found anything that I just I flat out haven't been able to run. I just try to play it and it just lags or something like that. But it can get pretty loud. Ursula Quinn asks, "Can I send you a copy of Iron Man 3 as well as if I send you a Spider-Man Homecoming, will you watch it?" I would just say, really, I would kind of these little requests for you to send me things. I would just ask, like seriously, like I'm not really interested in receiving anything that you would send me. Um, like I said, I appreciate the gesture, but I have no real priority to watch those movies, and if I wanted to watch them, I would just get them myself. Um, if you're really like dying to give me something, I would just say like I go into my Steam account and like get something off my wish list, which again, like, you're not really obligated to do that. Do that at your own choice. But as for sending me physical things, I would say I have no real interest in you doing that. Blu-ray or DVD? I have a couple Blu-rays, and they look great. Like I would say, I mean, you know, I don't really think there's anything, in terms of technical specifications. I don't think DVD has anything up on Blu-ray other than just being more common or widespread. So I'll probably just say Blu-ray. Can I do a Let's Movie series where I put on a movie in the background and we hear your reaction to it? Um, if I did that, I'll probably call it Let's Watch rather than Let's Movie. But that is an interesting idea. I have seen videos like that. Like reactions to. I've mainly seen it like reactions to like anime stuff. Like that is, I don't know, that is an interesting idea. Like if I ever did get around to like Spider-Man: Homecoming, that could be an interesting thing for people to watch or something. Myself, like, unless like the person who's commentating is like interesting, I don't really have too much of an interest in it, because it's like a lot of the reactions might just seem fake or something like that. Like I don't know, somebody punches somebody and it's like the reaction's like, oh man, like I really doubt you're that excited about it. The only person that I've really watched do videos like that is the channel Pretty Much It, who they've like done a audio commentary, but they're also like a group of like three friends who it's like, so it's like, you're not just watching some guy, like you're watching like a group of people, have fun with the movie and whatnot. But that is like a neat idea. Um, I doubt like I wouldn't like hold my breath for it, but I could do that with like certain things at some point. I have thought about doing that for like press conferences, like E3 and whatnot. But yeah, okay, it's a possibility like in the future at some point, but I have not really thought about it too much. Now, finally, Dab on That Hoe asks, have you lost your virginity, and if so, when? I have not, honestly. And to get into because, I tend to not really, be to talk about sexual things on this channel, like it's not quite G-rated, but that is like a subject that I generally don't really talk about too much. If I'm completely honest, like I'm a very, at least compared to, I guess, what it seems like most people are like, I'm a very prudish person. Like I just, yeah, I'm a very prudish person. Let's just leave it at that. And what is my favorite porn site? Like as like the other question, or like my other answer, like when it comes to pornography, uh, I don't want to say I look down at it, but it is something that I do worry about the people that are really into it. Um, like there was this fella just the other day. This fella I'm subscribed to, D Sigs. Like he like did this video about like go looking at like all the pornography that he watched in a day. Like he was talking about like how he watched like hours, like an hour or two a day or something, which boggles my mind. Like I'm just like it could have been spent. That time could have been spent on something much more productive. Even if it's not that great. Um, but to actually answer the question, the only real pornography site that I've ever really looked at was sometimes I used to like with some friends look at, there were certain I won't name them, but like there were certain websites where it's like it's not really pornography for the sake of being arousing as much as it is being funny, like like pornography bloopers or something like that, like or just weird, like there's like highlights of like just the weird stuff that happens during scenes and whatnot, I guess. But hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, that's all the questions for this week, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I answered all your questions. But till next time, post questions below, and I'll answer them next week. Look it out.